Hello, 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 everybody. I saw you, Sherry, jamming the same way I was jamming. I love that music. I
Buffing out.
know it's so odd, but I just like the music. And welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll say hello before we get started and do our introductions and all that spiel that we got going on. So let's see who is here. Come on in, say hello. Don't be shy. So dramatic. Thanks, Diane. It is dramatic. It's like boom, boom. There it is. Hello, Rachel. Good to see you. And Dee Dee, good to see you. Karen, awesome to see you. Priscilla, good evening. Surprise, surprise. Thought you weren't going to be on. That's okay. I'm glad you're here. Facebook user. Hello, Facebook user. And tell me who you are. Ellen Jane, good to see you. Thank you for spelling Sherry's name correctly. That always makes me happy. Gina, hello, good to see you. Chuck it, J Evangelista, so good to see you, my friend. And Martin Burke, all the way from Ireland, so good to see you, my friend. So good to see you. I know I like the music too. Surprise, I worked it out. Good for
Yay.
you. Always good to work it out.
Yay.
Okay, guys, come on in and say hello. It's so good to see all of you on here. It's an odd Wednesday today, being the first of the month. People are like, "What? It's September already? What?" Yvonne, hello. Happy back to school day. Happy back to school day. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Karen, long time no see, my friend. Good to see you. Um, and you're saying hi to Ellen Jane. That's good. Good that you can say hello to your relatives. It's awesome. Okay. Well, guys, Sherry is not a stranger here. And hello, Facebook user. Tell me who you are. Um, a new view. No, it's the same view. Maybe I need to fix a little bit. Hang on, hang on. Bear with, bear with. There we go. No, there you go. That way you can always have mom and dad over my shoulder. Um, Good evening, Beth Rogers, and hello, Kathy. So Sherry is not a stranger to us. Um, Sherry and I met, guys, get this, November of 2019. We met at John Holland and Janet No Havoc, the mediumship workshop in Virginia Beach at the Edgar Casey Foundation. It was so much fun.
It was so
55,
fun.
55 people. We had like a really good group, and there was a good chunk of us that, became friendly afterwards. And I just think it is just special that we are still in contact. And I love Sherry's work. I try and either see her on Instagram or see her on her Facebook Lives whenever she can and whenever I can. Usually we're neck to neck with stuff.
Yeah.
But it is so good to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm so good. I have to say, it always tickles me when you tell our what do they call it? Our origin story,
Yes.
because we were there for like what 5 6 days, and we talked a little, but we didn't really. We never were paired together. We never actually like worked together, and it wasn't until after this event that we really became such good friends. And I
Yep.
love that because I'm like, I think of like so many like blessings in my life that I would have missed if you hadn't decided that, we Elias created this group of us to be able to stay together, and this was his brainchild. So like the psychic squares, and we worked together, all of us, because Elias had this idea that we should hold on to each other. And I was like, yay, because he's one of my most favorite people.
Oh, thanks, honey. And it's important. It's important to connection and community. I think, when I leave this world, if I can pass that message along, that's one message that I'd like to leave as a legacy, is about connecting and community, how important that is for all of us. And just like Lee Michael. Hi, Lee Michael. I know Lee from Sunny Dawn Johnston's programs, and Lee has been on here as well. And guys, just because all of us do the same work, there's enough for all of us to go around, and each of us do it uniquely, which brings me into our topic today about how we receive intuitive guidance and how we receive it uniquely. Before we got on, Shari was bringing up something. She's like, how, we were talking about what we're going to talk about. And, it is a process. You just said something. You don't wake up magically. Poof, you're a psychic.
You're a
Poof, you're a
psychic.
psychic medium. Woo! It doesn't really get that way.
Now, to be fair, there was this moment in my life where I had this like, holy crap moment, but it's not something that you just like, I mean, and I guess some people have these like traumatic injuries, like a car crash or a near-death experience or something, and they recover from it and now they have these abilities. But you still have to like study and learn and train and like get a grip.
Right. Because there is a foundation. There's a foundation. There is, and I hate to say it this way, then I'm not. I'll say what I was going to say. There is a right way and a wrong way, and I hate to say right and wrong, but there is a way to be in integrity, and there is a way that you can use this work and have it come from ego and be out of integrity. And I think it's so important to, walk the walk and talk the talk as best as possible. We're all human. We all make mistakes, everybody. But, Shari and I would both say, we don't have all the answers. We don't claim to have all the answers. Only God and Oprah. And, and it's, it is what it is. Rachel, good to see you, Rachel. And Robin's putting up your stuff there, your link tree. Hi, Terry. Good to see you. Robin's putting up your join her on Facebook every Monday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. And that's 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, you guys. Eastern.
Now, I will say there's not meditation tomorrow night because I am traveling this weekend. So we're leaving tomorrow. There will not be a meditation tomorrow night.
And Christine, you are correct. Fine-tuning the ability does take time. Shari has a voice that is soothing to me. It is very soothing. Yes. God and Oprah. I know, don't you? Feel free to use that, Rachel. Feel free. Any EP quotes, please feel free to use. So let's talk about, first, tell people a little bit about you. There are some people that don't know while I'm getting a little slosh of water here. Go ahead.
So I always just, anytime Elias asks me to come and do anything, the answer is always yes. If I can, whatever I need to do to twist my schedule around to be available for him, the answer is always yes. So I am a psychic medium. I am also a teacher. I do, oracle cards and tarot cards. And if you come on my lives on Monday on my Facebook page, we do a lot of that. I do channel messages from spirit. And I also do Akashic records work and life regressions. But the most that I do, primarily what people come to see me for is mediumship or psychic work. And, I love this. And it is something people will always ask. And actually, I recently had started, because I have a blog and a website and the whole thing. And I have recently created another presence on Medium, the platform Medium, because I thought, don't we belong on Medium? I mean, we should be on Medium. And so you can find me there too. I have to add that to my link tree. But, I was, people ask me all the time, how did I know? And when did I know that I could do this work? And so one of the stories that I just shared recently was about my gatekeeper. But for me, I always knew, even as a small child, because there was always the glowy people would come into my room and my toys, my stuffed animals would kind of move around and fly around and talk back to me. And so there was always stuff. But it was when I was a little bit older, when I was in college, that I said, this is too much. It was coming in so fast that I needed to close the doors for a while because I just couldn't handle it. And really, I think Elias and I are around the same age, and 50s, Yeah. And so in the late 70s, early 70s, early 80s, in that time, there wasn't the internet, there wasn't Facebook, you couldn't Google anything. You had to, go to the library. I could ride my bicycle to the library, but what in the heck would I look up? The only psychic things that were in my awareness growing up was like Dionne Warwick and the Psychic Friends Network, and largely people had that reaction. So, and I didn't have a credit card at 9 years old to call up and go, can you please explain to me what the hell is going on? So there comes a point where you have to, close the doors. But I love to tell this story about when I reopened myself to the other side and said, okay, I'm really ready to deal with this part of my life and this part of who I am, because you feel this tug, you feel this pull on yourself. And it makes me laugh every time, because I wrote this blog post. It's Whoopi Goldberg was right, because really, when I opened the doors back up to the other side, it was like that scene in the movie Ghost where she's just like, I can hear everybody talking to me. And that was, sorry, Dan, that probably wasn't very soothing. But it was nuts. But you have to learn. You have to learn how you filter and how you get a gatekeeper, and you get people, in line, so that you are not overwhelmed by the other side. And so that you come into this symbiotic relationship with, I allow them in, they allow me in, and it's this beautiful blending that comes. But that comes with time, and you definitely need some training for that.
And patience, guys, and patience. Because like Shari, mine rushed in as well, and it was overwhelming. And this is what I tell students, and I'm sure you do the same thing. It's always about, when you ask these things to come, you ask softly, gently, yet quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And the softly and gently, guys, is really, really important. Let me say hello, Sen. It will be joining us, you guys, next week, and we'll be talking about receiving healing through sound. So Sen and I haven't really talked, but Sen, it would be really cool to do a gong bath over like maybe a couple minutes of just sound healing. If you can do a little presentation, that would be awesome. But we'll talk about that later in the week. Stephanie, good to see you, my friend. Hello, Dorothy. Thank you, Priscilla, posting your website here. And Janelle, aloha. I just love our Shari Dworkin-Smith Psychic Medium. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Yes, she is. She. Here's the thing, guys. Out of our group, Shari and I have the biggest mouth. I mean, when we're in a room, what can I tell you? It's not,
Which is why it's so hilarious that we did not gravitate to each other, when we were in that room for 5 days.
I think it was because we were so, I know you well enough to know that you take your job seriously. And so did I. When I was in that room, I was like focused and centered and I am here to learn.
Yeah.
Learn,
absolutely.
Right? Funny story. Because when they divided the groups into like beginners and advanced, and John called my name and said it incorrectly. John called my name, and then he said, no, wait, you go in the other side. And I was the only one sitting in there before they had everybody else go in. I'm like, oh my God, they must thought I was horrible. I'm in the beginning room, and I was like, blah, blah, blah. And then, all the rest of you came in. Like there were like 25 of you that came in, and I was like, oh. And then he's like, okay. Well, it wasn't John. It was Janet.
Yeah, that was Janet.
The nun, guys. The former nun.
She is no messing around with her.
No messing around with her. I do have to say. And that just killed me every time she said I have to say.
She's so cute. I will say that by the end of the week, because she was very like, but by the end of the week, she started to like loosen up and like have fun with us. And I'm telling you what, when this former Roman Catholic nun told the story of her group of women that went out into the desert and flashed their boobs to the moon, I almost fell out of my chair. That story will stay with me forever.
So exciting. Sen says, oh, so excited to share. Thank you, Sen. And hello, Pat Johnson. Good to see you. Lauren, hello. And we are blessed with both of you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. Hello, Ginger. Good to see you. And guys, Ginger also has a Facebook Live on Thursdays. So, and that's at 7:00 Pacific time, which is 10:00 Eastern. So, sorry, I have to do the math real quick. So we're talking about receiving intuitive guidance and how unique it is. Now, I think most of the people here, we've gone over the clairs. We know what the clairs are, the clairsentient, clairaudient. claircognizant, clairgustance,
Olfactants,
alliance, yeah,
yeah,
that one. And then
all the senses.
Claire, all the Claires, and the bad joke, the dad joke, and my favorite, the eclair. So we know all, I know, I'm sorry, all the Claires. Now, did you would you say that those are unique? I know your answer because I could hear it in my ear. But are those unique? Do you find that those are unique to the students that you teach?
No,
Okay.
I think that everyone, gosh, I hope that's what you heard in your ears. I think that all of us have some psychic. You are.
Well, it's like that bad joke. The knock on the door and the psych is like, "Who is it?" Sorry. Go, go ahead.
It's always like this when the two of us get
I
together.
know, crazy.
So for me, I would say no, because I think that everyone has intuition. We all have the ability to tap into our clairs. There are a lot of people who ignore them, and that was actually one of the things I was talking about just this week. You know, people will get into their intuition, and they'll hear the voice in their head, or they'll see the symbol, the sign, the bird fly by, the name on the side of the truck, whatever, and they just ignore, and they're like, oh, it's coincidence. We lose a lot of people who are trying to be on the path of opening to their intuition and opening to their higher guidance when things get hard. And so, when it gets a little chaotic, when a lot of stuff is coming in, or when, the coincidences are happening one after the other, and you're being, pushed in a direction, sometimes people freak out and they're like, oh, and so we lose a lot of people when stuff gets hard. And this is the time when you really got to lean into spirit and say, okay, I know you're doing something. Please help me understand what it is. So I think we all have abilities. The question is, are you leading in to develop them? But I do also think that there are a lot of people like Elias and to a point me and the people that we work with that have a higher natural ability. I don't ever like to say like, I'm gifted in this area, because I don't think it's a gift. I think it's an ability that we all have. That is a question of, are you willing to put in the time to develop these things, whether you want to be a psychic or not, to put in the time to develop your abilities to connect with your higher self.
And
And
everybody, like you said, everybody has it. Everybody has these abilities. Think about all of you that are mothers or fathers. You have children. You know when there's a gut feeling that you know. Now, like Shari said, do you listen or do you pay attention? That's one of the things that both Shari and I both teach on how to pay attention and what is it and how to open yourself up, ground yourself, open yourself up to getting that. Now, I should have been a little bit lengthier with my questions. So
I answered it wrong. Dang it.
no, it's all good. So what I wanted to say was, for example, I might get an image of a hummingbird. A hummingbird might mean something to me, but uniquely, a hummingbird could mean something different to you. We both we're both seeing or getting that image, but the the message can be totally different. Would you agree with that? And that's what
Yeah,
I mean by the uniqueness.
absolutely. And I I think that it becomes, I tell people that I'm playing a game of charades in
Yes.
my mind, that they're trying to get me to, say a thing, and they're going to give me, whatever it is that makes sense to me. So today, for example, I was working with a woman, and, her loved one came through, and I said, does he work with something? I feel like there's something, a lot of law enforcement around him. I feel like did he have some kind of run in with the law? No. Does he work in law enforcement? There's all these white, like, cars and trucks with lights on top of them. Well, come to find out, he worked in like parks and recreation. So all the people who worked in the park, I'm like, there's uniforms and there's these, so it wasn't police, but they all had that the white trucks with the lights on them and that kind of thing. And it was very interesting because Spirit was giving me, the images that I could identify to share the information with her. And she's like, oh yeah, that's all the people he works with. I'm like, oh, well, there you go. So, but it comes in one way. I'll tell you another really quick story. I had a woman that I looked at her and I said, I know you have small children. Did your son play t-ball? Because I'm getting, like t-ball, like little kid baseball, with the little ball sits on the thing and you have to hit it. And she's like, no, t-ball. And I'm in my head, I'm like, tell me more, something. What is this about t-ball? And I looked at her and I said, are you like a big tea drinker? Like, tea? Turns out she's a huge tea aficionado, and she had recently just bought a new fancy tea ball, a metal ball that you put the loose leaf tea in, and it's got holes and you put it in the water. So it was a tea ball, but there was no way they were going to just show that to me and I was going to get that. So they had given me tea ball and we worked it out. But, this is how Spirit can work. Is they will work on the things that you have rolling around in your brain. Because my son, when he was very, very little, played t-ball. And so they will get you to, like sounds like, whatever the charade things are to, to get you to come out with what it is.
And that's a great way to explain it. It is charades. Let me say hello. Hello, Denise. Good to see you. Gabriella, hello. Good to see you. Bridget, hello. Hummingbirds remind me to stay grounded, lighthearted, higher perspective, and all right to step back, but don't give up. Excellent. Brielle, good to see you. Thank you for joining. What a cute puppy you've got there. Super, super cute. So let's say, to carry on this uniqueness, when I get a message, when you get a message, it is about how we interpret it. And like Shari said, they do use everything that you have in your wheelhouse, movies that you've seen, books that you've read, memories. For me, when I'm doing mediumship, I'll see actually pictures of my relatives, and they'll focus on their eyes or their hair or whatever. Facebook user lost you. No, we're here. Good evening. And hi guys. Hope you both are doing great. Thank you, Kashifa. Thank you. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Hello, Donna, and hello, Facebook user once again. So if I got a message, and this is a true story, a woman came in, and some of you know the story because I've told it several times. But this woman came in, first time, like the mediumship thing, the whole first time I'm doing this, downtown Chicago. I was doing massages all day and then did a couple readings. And this woman comes in and she wants to talk to her mom. And I said, well, not really sure. We'll see what we can do. And what I saw was her taking a hammer, hitting her mother on the head with a hammer. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a psycho killer in my office and I'm the only one on the floor right now. And I'm like, Mom, Dad, a little help, please. A little help, please. And what I saw was my mom, Dad, and I arguing. I'm like, oh, we're just a bunch of stubborn Greeks. And I looked at her and I said, was your mom stubborn? She goes, oh my God, she was so hard-headed you could hit her over the head with a hammer. So interesting, right? Interesting. Claudette says, I had to learn from my teacher how to close because I was always open. It really helped me to have peace and know me again, not just others or spirit. So fascinating, Claudette. Yes,
especially
so
because you're probably an empath, right, Claudette? And it's it's one of the things that I know I teach this. I think Elias teaches this too, is how empaths protect you, have to learn how to protect yourself. So you're not wandering around just wide open all the time, absorbing everybody else's stuff. And then you're just exhausted and you can make yourself sick. And so learning how to protect yourself is hugely important. So.
And when we receive, and when all of you receive, guys, it's really important to look at the message and say, is there a deeper meaning for me? Is there something that, some things can be super superficial. Why did I say that twice? But they can. They can be super superficial, or they could be deep in meaning. Martin says, I would be fearful of where the spirit might lead me. And
And
it
that's
can,
where we lose good people because, you know, we
yeah,
operate from fear.
right.
Stop that.
Yeah,
Because with all my love, stop that. Because, you know, spirit is not out to harm us, and they are always actually out to help us. It's the things we've grown up with, those filters that we've grown up with, that teach us, you know, oh, this is bad, this is the devil's work, or this is you know, that you know, there's bad energies or bad you know, and there's always going to be bad actors, but you know, and energy vampires or narcissists, people who want to take advantage. But when you lean into spirit, they operate from love. Everything that's on the other side is love.
right,
And
right.
so they lead us with love. And if you come to them with love, that's what you will get back. If you are coming to them with manipulation or, you know, lack of integrity or whatever, you know, you're going to find that. But if you are working from a place of love, then spirit is going to work with you on that level. And there is so much blessing, even in the hard stuff. There is so much blessing there.
And
Try not to
that's
be afraid.
guys, that you have to look at that. And here's the thing, good things happen for all of us. When we are focusing in the light, then we get the light. Simple, easy.
You know the story about the kids with the kids and the ponies? I love this story. So this psychic experiment, and they had these two kids, and they put them in each in a different room with a big giant pile of horse poop. And the one
Hmm.
kid is like, "Oh my god, this is a giant pile of horse poop! Get me out of here! This is the worst thing ever!" And the other kid dove into the pile of horse poop and started digging around. And they're like, "What are you doing?" They're like, "With all this horse poop, there's got to be a pony in here somewhere." Because there's always a blessing, even
I
in the
love that.
poop. So I love
I
that
love
story.
that. That's
Yeah,
great.
no
And
problem.
that Sherry has been my week this last week, from falling down the stairs to putting my hand through the window
Oh my god.
to flooding the basement to locking myself out of the house in my pajamas and having to climb through a window with socks on at 10:30 in the morning. You know,
With
why not?
everybody else.
Yeah, with everybody up. And it's like,
You're
hi,
gonna meet your neighbors.
please say hi to my tush in your face. Thanks so much. So it's true. You know, Priscilla says she got her first message for a friend who she doesn't know too well, and her mom came through to me. It was a huge risk to let her know. I had her mom with me. Would it be okay to deliver a message? But I did, and it resonated. So, and that's really good that you asked, because, you know, guys, and Sherry agrees with me because we've already talked about it a long time ago. The whole Teresa Caputo, hi, I've got a message for you. You know, that's filmed, guys. It's filmed, and the producers tell the people beforehand. They don't tell them the message because that's very unique. But they do say Teresa Caputo's here, blah blah. She's feeling like she has a message just to be, you know, please act natural. that part is that part is, you know, they have to know. But it's not like you can go up to somebody, because you'll have what I like to call psychic diarrhea. And it is kind of messy, and it's kind of runny, and it's not solid. So
I tell spirit. So okay, so I had the brother of a woman that I kind of know. I more knew her husband, and the brother kept coming through and saying, "I need you to give a message to my sister." And I'm like, I know she does not believe in any of this stuff, and I don't really know her that well. I'm not walking up to her, even though I kind of know her. I'm like, if you want me to give her this message, then you create the situation where she and I are going to be together. Well, wouldn't you know it? So I live in Orlando. Wouldn't you know it, the two of us end up at, you know, a group going to Disney, and we end up on the line together, and we're in the roller, like we're sitting next to each other in the roller coaster. And I'm like, okay, you did your part, I will try. And I asked her, I said, you know, I know your brother had passed, and I'm, you know, I'm sorry for that loss. You know, would you be open to, you know, if he had a message for you? And she's like, well, you know, I don't believe in any of that. I said, yeah, I do. And it's okay if you don't believe, but you know, if he had something that he wanted to share, would you want to know? And I didn't give her the message. I just asked. And it was really like a few months later where he put us face to face again. when I was able to give her the message. Because remember, time and that need of like, we have to do it right now, that's us. That's human. That's ego.
Right.
They don't have any of that nonsense. They will wait. They got all the time in the world.
See, this is what I'm picturing, Shari. This is where my brain goes. That you're telling her as you're going up the roller coaster, like, chuk, 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 chuk. And then he said this, ah!
Well, just to put your mind at ease, it was the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It was really not like,
darn it. I really wanted a big, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, no, it was, so.
Fun, cute story. Yes. Hi, Lise. Good to see you. Thank you, Claudette. Janelle, when young, I had the kitchen cabinets fly open and stuff fly all over. It scared the bejesus out of my sister and her friends. They were holding a seance. Oh my gosh.
Well, there you go.
There you go. But actually, it was just my spirit friend, Caraway, farting around. So scary, might just have been a sense of humor. That's true.
They will mess with you.
They will.
Absolutely mess with you.
And again, we talk about you guys' uniqueness. And this isn't, and Shari, both of us, teaching, I want to say, guys, that it's not always about, I know you come onto both of our lives and we do readings for people, and we give that way. We give back to what we've received. We give back. And the important part is the learning lesson. Because, when people, and please know, if you've asked this question, I'm not judging. But when people say, will I get married? I always say to them, do you want to get married? Well, yeah, that's why I'm asking, am I going to get married? Well, if you want to get married, then the question would be, what's holding me back from getting married? Not, am I going to get married? Because, the worst thing to do to a psychic medium is have them have the feeling like you're putting a quarter in their mouth, pulling down their arms, and then boop, comes out the answer. We're not like Zolar from Big. Yeah. So, but I think, in teaching, it is about, as Shari said, as I said, the foundation. And the foundation is so important. And what would you say one little nugget of foundational work would you give to everybody listening?
One of the things I think is really important is understanding, and Elias alluded to this, do you want to get married, is where are you coming from? Because if you're looking at like, will I get married, just to carry that example forward, will I get married? And you're coming from this place of like desperation, that's what you're putting out into the world, into the universe, that energy. And so what you're attracting could be marriage, material, but that doesn't mean it's right or good or, so really looking at what is it that you are putting out. When we moved to Florida from Los Angeles, my husband and I literally had a list of what we wanted in a house. We literally wrote down, this is what we want. And so we ended up renting a house for a little period of time, which was the plan. And the house that we rented had everything on the list, plus a fireplace and a hot tub. And we were like, oh, that's kind of cool. But the house we ended up buying did not have either of those things because those things were not on the list. And the house that we had rented had some problems and we knew that wasn't the place we were going to be. But the house that we are in right now had everything on the list. It was exactly as we had put it out to the universe and asked the universe. And so where are you coming from? Are you coming from a place of faith and belief that if you are putting it out with love and joy and excitement and gratitude, then you're going to get that. And if you're putting out from a place of desperation, like, oh my God, I have to, you're corrupting that energy. And the other thing I would say is that once you get clear on your thoughts about what it is that you want, pay attention, because we were down to 2 houses and then it was like, well, this house doesn't have all the stuff that's on the list and this house does. And we were like, well, that's the decision. So we are so quick to see these signs and these, coincidences or these signals from the universe, and then we dismiss them. We don't pay attention. So once you are clear about where you're coming from and what you want, make sure you keep your eye on the ball, like pay attention to what the universe is trying to nudge you in that direction, because they are.
So true. And think about it, guys. And I've said it before, and Robin always writes it down when I say it. So where intention goes, energy flows. And where attention goes, energy flows. If you have the right intention, your attention will show up. So what I mean by that is if you're focusing on something, going, here's my intent. My intent is to create um, uh, wellness at work, peace and wellness at work, and then your attention is going to look at. You're going to get messages or symbols or be lined up, so those things do happen. So, and there she goes. Thanks, Robin. Where attention goes, energy flows. Where intention goes, energy flows. And that's by James Redfield.
The Celestine Prophecy.
Yes,
Love
such
that
a
book.
good book. Such a
Mhm.
good book. And a good movie,
And a good
guys.
movie. Yeah.
And a good movie.
And a good movie.
You've got some things coming up, don't you?
I do. I think I do. I'm sure I do.
You have a class coming up, don't you?
I do. Well, we just started building a beginning mediumship online course, so I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a little bit before it's going to be ready to launch, just because I think I'm also I know I'm also changing platforms. So it'll launch on my new learning platform. So I'm really excited to have a beginning mediumship course that is self, go at your own pace, and just really excited about that. And there was something else, and I can't. Oh, you caught me off guard with that. I wasn't like prepared for that. Like, what else is coming up?
I thought there was another class or so. You were talking about intuitive class, an intuitive class, no?
No.
Okay.
I guess I will.
Okay, I guess you will.
I guess I will.
Okay, well, we can talk about it later. But check out Shari's page, you guys, and her website, and you can see what she's got going on there, and it'll show. Claudette says, when spirit gives you evidence of a person or a memory that you couldn't have known, most people believe the message. Yeah, so true. So true. Does anybody, not psychic questions, guys, does anybody have any questions about receiving information? Like, you want to know how do you receive, or you got something you didn't know how to interpret. Does anybody have any of those kind of questions? And here's Shari's link tree. Thank you, Priscilla.
I will put my medium address on to the link tree as well. So
good.
I will say, I think when we get intuition, we get messages and information that comes in. So, Elias was saying, we all know the clairs. And so it's normal for us to have a strength in one, and the others will come along. And so as you're going and you're building your intuition and you're leaning more into that, go with your clair that is the strongest sense. So when I started, for me, I've had voices in my head my whole life. Like, I always had voices in my head. And then I would see things as well. And when we see things, we're not seeing it like this. For me, I'm seeing it either like on a screen right here, or it's like, for me, like a projection screen that's like, those thought bubbles in cartoons that pop out, bloop, and then it's like, right there. And I'm seeing it outside of myself. And it'll just be something that pops into your head. And a good way to know if it's coming from me or if it's coming to me is the speed. So if somebody asks you a question and the answer just boom, pops into your head, that's a good sign that it is coming to you. If it's like, what? I'm going to teach a class, like, that's coming from you. But if it comes in, bam, like that is a really good sign that it is coming to you. And you want to trust that gut. We get in the the mode where we doubt ourselves, and we're like, wait, so today I was working with somebody else, and gymnastics came in, and I was like, okay, there's little girls tumbling, doing like gymnastics on the front grass. All right. And then something else came in, and the conversation just went away from it. And I had to come back to it. I said, do you understand something about gymnastics? The little girls doing gymnastics on the grass, but I could see them in my mind doing the gymnastics. Like I could see like I was watching a little TV screen. So you want to, but when it first came in, I looked at it and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, I'll get back to that. But the nudge comes later. That's like, I heard it in my head. Don't forget to go back to the gymnastics. Don't forget to come back. And the picture comes right back in, like, coming back from commercial. And so paying attention to those things, it's the biggest hurdle, I think, because we all have the information that comes in, but the first thing that we do when the information comes in is we discount it.
Right.
We blow it off.
Exactly. We got several questions, which is great. Gabriella says, how do you receive? How do you actually get stuff? So Shari was kind of saying a little bit about that, Gabriella. I hope that answered it. If it didn't, comment again, because everybody, again, receives differently. It all depends on, how they're working with you.
Gabriella, let me say this. If I asked you your name, you would just know your name because you just know. That's part of it too. When I, say, okay, I've got a gentleman here and he's kind of slender and he's smoking, I just know. It's not always that I see it or that I hear it. Sometimes I just know it. Sometimes I feel it, like I can feel the smoke in my lungs. Like I used to be a smoker many, many years ago, and I'm not now. And so if I take a drag off a cigarette, you can feel that kind of your lungs going, so I'm like, oh, I can feel, oh, he was a smoker. So, but there are times when you just know the same way you just know your name.
Right. And all psychics, you guys, are not mediums. Did I say that right? Or is it all mediums?
All mediums are psychic.
Not, all mediums are psychic, but all psychics are not mediums.
Yeah, I have to start on the medium side, or I say it wrong.
You're right. Yeah, thank you. I do the same thing. I hope that helps, Gabriella. Diane, I get messages in dreams, and sometimes it's hard to figure out what they mean. True. Now, do you share them? And do you write them down? Do you share them? Do you share with people that you know? Do you say, hey, I got this? What are you getting from it? Because once you start opening up and sharing, somebody might get an intuitive hit that they're not even sure. They're like, oh, this is really weird. This just came up for me. I would never thought of that. That is an intuitive message that Spirit is using them to give you that message. Think about that. Terry
says, down though, because it's you may find the story unfolding over several dreams, and sometimes it's really obvious. Like if the car is crashing, you're the car, so you're the whatever the subject of the dream is, you're probably it. So you're the house, you're the plane, you're the car, whatever it is. But write it down, because it's really interesting when you and do it first thing in the morning, because you won't remember it later. But write it down, and you may find the story unfold over several nights or several dreams.
And it could be just a bunch of mishmash too. Shari does bring up a good point. So it could tell a story in a week. Think about it. Terry says, I seem to only receive in dreams. I know that's the easiest way for them to come, but it would be great to be awake for once. Ask. So simple. Just ask. Rachel says, and sorry guys, we're just going to go through these a little quickly. Do either of you have the ability to see the energy in the trees, like the Celestine prophecy?
I love that.
I can, but this is the weird thing. I have to be really focused. So if I'm on a retreat, yes, because I'm in that energy for those 4 days and I'm super in. If I'm teaching, yes. If I'm just on the bus and I haven't been on a bus in a long time. If I'm on a bus, let's say if I decide to go on a bus and just look at a tree, not really. But if I'm walking and I'm connected and grounded, yes.
Get out in nature, put your hands on the trees. Absolutely.
Janie says, yay, she made it. Michelle says, thought bubble. Perfect description. Love that. Okay, I don't want to miss anybody. How do you get over second guessing yourself when getting messages? I love this question. I always have voices in my head. Let's both take this. Go ahead.
So in part of my life, I volunteer at a state park near my house, and I protect manatees from swimmers and kayaks and stuff. And the other day, this manatee swam through the area, And this guy who was from Florida is like, I grew up around manatees all my life. And I said, uh-huh. And he's like, you're just making more chaos by pointing out the manatee. You should just let it swim through and nobody will even notice it. All the people with without a mask or a snorkel, they won't even notice it. Now, people come from all over the world to this park to see the manatees, hoping to see a manatee. And I looked at him and I thought for a second, I said, but sir, that's my job. My job is to point them out. My job is to help you not miss it. And that's spirit. Mm-hmm. Spirit's there to help you not miss the message. Spirit's there to help point it out to you. And so over time, it's like building a relationship with your best friend. When you met your best friend, you guys weren't like besties the first day. It took a little bit of time. And so as you lean in and the more you trust what you're giving, the more they're going to be able to give you. Okay. The more you lean, the more you will get. And so, you may just be like, I feel like that person is frustrated. And that may be it. But as you lean in and you welcome them into your life where they're trying to point stuff out to you, the more you welcome that in, the more information you're going to feel more confident. You're going to feel more able to trust what they're giving you, and they're going to be able to trust that what they give you, you're going to receive and do something, the right thing with. They'll be able to give you more.
And Denise, I'd like to add to that, for everybody, it's not just for Denise, but for everybody. When you start to second guess, when you guess it, the first thought is the intuition. When you go in it and go, well, should I be when you start to, that's the stinking thinking brain.
Mm-hmm. That's left brain. That's ego. That's our insecurity. Yep. Just trust it. It just takes time.
Bridget says, my brother comes to me in dreams and flickers lights. That's awesome. But my dad, I smell his cologne and cigarettes. Why do they come to me different?
Well, if your dad was in the light and your brother was in the light, how would you know who was who?
And if you know that your mom always made cake and your dad always smoked, there you go. Because remember, guys, they're not in body anymore. They're just pure energy. Our jobs, Shari and my job, is to paint them back into life. And, it takes a little time. And that's why we all get the messages, once again, to point this out, uniquely.
I have a light fixture in my office with 4 light bulbs in it, and 3 of the 4 will flicker. It drives me bananas because I have to look up and go, who's talking to me? Because it's 3 different people.
That's funny. Claudette says, how do you understand quickly vivid dreams where you're engaging with people who have passed, but it's like a parable?
Those are after-death visitations. It sounds like those are so
wonderful. Well, here's my question to you, Claudette. Do you know that you're dreaming? If you know that you're dreaming, program it while you're dreaming. Or if you don't know that you're dreaming, you can say this before you go to bed. You can say, I really would like to know what's going on when I sleep. Can you make it a little clearer for me? Instead of like, when the fox crossed the bridge, he knew that, that kind of a thing. Facebook user, how do you practice to strengthen the ability? That's awesome. I would tell you that both Shari and I would agree on this, and then Shari, I'll let you add more. But to strengthen it is, yes, it is a practice, you guys. It is practice. I'm not saying you have to, sit there and, sorry, I don't have all my tools with me. But I do have a tape measure. You don't, and hand sanitizer, you don't go, I can feel the energy coming through. I feel the energy coming through. And the answer is, you don't, it doesn't happen that way. It happens in setting an intention, grounding, prayer, whatever you want to say. It is that, please teach me softly, gently, quickly, to receive messages for my highest good, and then say thank you afterwards. So important. So important. I can tell when you want to add. So go ahead.
Thank you is really important. I think if you're trying to, I think strengthening the clairs is really instrumental, because the more you can strengthen your clairs through, there's lots of different exercises, and Elias and I both, teach all kinds of things about how to strengthen your clairs. But that will really help you get, as information comes in. Like last night information, I was going to do something and I could hear it in my head, like, no, you should wait till tomorrow. And today I was like, oh, I got to do that thing. And I was like, oh my God, it's like on sale, whatever it was, today was like, it was definitely a good reason, good thing I waited. And so it just, you have the ability to get that information more clear the more you practice strengthening the opening the doors to where the information is going to come in. But when you started, I don't know about Elias, but when I started, I gathered up a couple of friends I could trust, and I said, let me do some readings on you. I think I charged, $10, because I was just trying to, practice, because practice is the operative word. What do they say? It takes 10,000 hours to, become an expert in something. So
Right.
it's just practice. And the more you do it, I teach people to have a journal that I call it a bingo book. So when you're doing practice readings on your friends, especially when you're getting started and stuff, is you get it right, you get a hit, write it down in the book, because you see like, oh, I got something. And then you build confidence that way, because the next time you might get 3 to 4 pieces of information right. And the next time you're going to get 8 to 10 pieces of information right. Let me be very clear. Nobody, I don't care how good of a psychic or medium that they are, is not going to get every piece of information right. So please don't make that. We're not going for 100%. That's not the goal. Nobody is getting everything. But you build that confidence in yourself and your ability to do this with spirit. You build confidence in that relationship, because it isn't like, oh, I did so good. We as a team did so good.
Right. And guys, don't go anywhere, because after our chat, I'm doing a guided meditation. So remember to stay tuned for that. And I'm glad I remembered. Let's see. Bridget, yes, sometimes I just know things. Yes. Gabriella says, what you said, Shari, made sense. Awesome. Janie says, how old were you when you really knew you had a working tool, or thought about what you do today?
I was probably in my early 30s before I was ready to like reface that part of myself. And it very, very quickly became clear to me that it was an occupation, not because like, oh, I could make more money. It was more of a calling. Like, there's more I could be doing with my one fabulous life, current life, to help people who are here on the planet. And it was that pull to help people. I help people in the job that I've had for 20 plus years as a director with Mary Kay, but this was a very different way that I could help people. And I felt very strongly that, like, I've always known I'm here to help people. And this was like, oh, I'm not just supposed to do this for me. Very early, I knew I was supposed to use this ability to help other people.
Exactly. And the Mary Kay shaving cream I still have. It's very nice. All right. Let's see. And for me, I was just like Shari, 32, 33 was really when it kicked in. And then doing the 2-year apprenticeship program in shamanic studies and learning, I knew like a couple of years after that I'm like, okay, this is it. After going to massage school and becoming an instructor, I knew that there was something about this whole teaching aspect and learning the body, mind, and spirit combination. Diane says, thank you. I'll start writing down more stuff, but it's hard to go to others and explain things. Diane, call me, Sister Sledge. Call me. Rachel, I dream of houses constantly. How do you interpret that? Rachel, here's a really good question that I'll ask you. What does houses mean for you? So after this, I want you to just write down, because you know how to get in contact with Shari and I. Just write down, what does houses mean for you? What does it feel like to be in a house? What does it mean to be in a house? What do houses mean for you? And you'll have your answer, my friend. Does the subconscious, good question, does the subconscious interfere with connecting?
I I don't know that I would label it as the subconscious. I think that what interferes with connecting is ego.
Yep.
It's the left brain. It's the ability to come in here and, whether I just had a fight with my mother or whatever, I like to shut all that out, to come in here and to breathe and to say, left brain, be quiet, because my right brain is connecting with the fun people and the cool
Right.
stuff. Now we're going to go do good stuff here, and to just shut all of that out. So it's our ego and our monkey mind.
And if you can have this talk to this, then that's where you got going. That's the consciousness of the overthinking piece. Like Shari said, the stinking thinking and monkey brain. Yeah, that's good. Love hugging trees. Me too. Are you able to shut off receiving messages?
Oh yes, you
Yes.
must. You
Yes.
must.
Yes. Bridget says, thank you. I'm going fast, guys. Where would you practice this? Where would you practice the strengthening ability without seeming crazy?
You know what, Nan? Go outside and where there's people, where you can, be safe, wear a mask, whatever, be safe. But maybe go to the park and watch people and listen. Like, just close your eyes and listen intently and see how far you can stretch your hearing and grow your clairaudience that way, because you're practicing expanding your physical hearing, but in that subconscious way, you're expanding your inner hearing as well. And it's the same thing with when you look at somebody, like, can you look at Elias or me, and can you see, well, what do I think is going on with that person, just by focusing in on them? It's practice. And so the more that you can open yourself to receive over time, you'll receive more. And for myself, my online course, Becoming an Empowered Empath, we spent a lot of time talking about how do you strengthen your clairs, because I think to be an empowered empath, you must have control of your clairs. You must be able to shut off the messages, shut out other people's energy, so that you can live your life the way you want, and not the way, like a ping pong ball, bouncing around in a pinball machine. Pinball.
And this is a question. I knew there was a question I had for you, because I've asked other people that have been on here. So I'm like, well, I'll get to ask Shari, see what she thinks. So as you all know, I'm doing a course starting next Thursday, and it is called the Intuitive Mindset Group. It's a group coaching / intuitive tutoring 12-week course. And the reason why we don't get our intuition clearly is because of what we say, what we hear, what we feel, and what we know about ourselves, and how we say all that and believe in it. So I tell people that I feel like, our seventh chakra comes here. It's like a funnel in a sense, and all the good information from spirit's coming up. But I hate myself. I'm fat. I'm ugly. I'm this. I'm that. And now you're squeezing that funnel. So now it's like a coffee drip, drip, drip. You're still getting the intuition, but the way that you speak to yourself and feel and hear and talk to yourself, talk to yourself, I believe limits our intuition. What are your thoughts?
I agree. I think it's not just how you talk to yourself, but it's also how you talk about yourself and about your
Right.
situation.
Right.
My husband and I, for years, we would say, gosh, we have everything, if only our money situation, would be better. If, oh, we have all this blessing except our money. We just need to get our money worked out. Well, when we stopped saying that, guess what worked out?
Right.
So we were affirming that we had money problems. So stop doing that. Your words are very, very powerful. What is it that you're putting out into the universe? And what is the intention behind that? If you're
Exactly.
putting out, oh, I wish I had this, you're telling the universe, I don't have that. And the universe is going, oh, okay, great. None of that for you. So your intention, the quote that you said before, what is your intention? It's not just the words that you're using. It's your intention
So true.
behind it.
Connie, hello. Good to see you. Rachel, thank you. Priscilla, yep, we are. Sen says, if I may, yes, you may.
Please
Sen,
do.
please do. So Sen was one of my massage students back in Chicago back in the day. And he lives here in Vancouver, Washington. So very cool. He had me over for dinner a couple weeks ago, so that was really nice. And thank you again.
Hi.
For lucid dreaming, it helps me to squeeze my hand 3 times periodically while I fall asleep. When I'm dreaming, I squeeze my hand 3 times to become aware. Love the dream talk. That's really good. See, my problem, if someone's squeezing my hand, I'm like, are you giving me a donut? All right, what's happening? What's coming in my hand? Food? That's what I would think.
It's a practice with lucid dreaming. You
Yeah.
teach yourself a signal
Right.
while you're falling asleep, and then and it's, I gotta say, it's for some people it's super easy, and for some people it is not. I do not personally have great luck with the signal thing,
No, either do I.
but if I'm in a lucid dream, I tend to know it, and I'm like, okay, we're flying, let's go, and lucid dreaming is awesome. But yeah, some people can really do I can't signal myself. I don't know.
I can be in the dream and something could happen, and I get off the get this. This is, tells you Greeks in charge, right? I get off the director's chair and I'm like, wait, no, we don't want this to happen. Can we redo this, please? Thank
Back
you.
it up.
Yeah,
And
back it up.
yeah,
Crazy.
I do. I'm like, I don't like this. We need to rewind, and we're gonna go over here. Yeah, it's nice to have that ability.
So because Gabriella is Greek, I'm going to answer this
Yes.
question. Okay. Is grounding really that important? Is feta cheese really important in a Greek salad? Is Kalamata olives really necessary in a Greek salad? Yes. Yes, it's very important. Very, because otherwise then you're flying up around here. And yeah, it feels good to be up here, but you want to be connected. You want to be grounded. Really important. Trust me, I've had the other.
But Gabrielle, it doesn't have to be hard. I mean, it doesn't have to be hard. So here, really super fast. Take your middle fingers and put one in between your on your ajna and pull up a tiny bit, and put the other one in your belly button and pull up a little bit, and just breathe. Then this is better if you can stand up while you do it, and just breathe, and maybe breathe in and out 4 or 5 times.
And if people don't know what ajna means,
third eye. Sorry.
Okay. No, I get it. I get it. I knew where you were going.
But it's so important, because we want to be connected on both sides, to the light and to Mother Earth. Because you can, like, people like us, psychics and mediums, we get all up in here, and you can, anytime you're out of balance, you can make yourself ill. So having the balance is important.
Pat Johnson wants to add, when you ask your angels, can you make it clear for me? Yes, they can. You get a simple yes. When you say, please make it clear for me, it is a request to your angel that they will do it. Awesome. Okay, Janelle, 1 second. Here we go. How do you handle being ethical during readings when a client asks a question that would have you tap into someone else's energy without their permission and their energy comes through? I don't take those questions, yet still feel like I have invaded someone else's privacy just by picking up on it. So you can ask for that, Janelle, not to happen prior to the session. Because what you're doing is you're open and stuff's pouring in, you're filtering it out. So you can say, I call on my guides, however you open, whatever you do to open, and then just ask, put that request in there.
Again, it's like, for me, it's building that relationship with your best friend. I won't touch it. And I tell people, I'm like, I can tap into your energy and your spouse, your parents, your children, your siblings, but don't ask me, to tap into your ex-boyfriend's, energy, or your, that's unethical. And for me, I won't go there. And because I have set that boundary for myself with spirit, I don't even get it anymore. And I'll just say, I can't see that, because I literally can't see it anymore, because that's where my boundary is.
And I tell people that even if I did, it's coming through their filter. It is like I'm reading them, but I'm reading them through them. And that's not good. Denise, you guys can read this. Denise has actually come out of the woo-woo closet. Good for you, girl. Rachel, ethics have come up a lot today. Yes, that might be a great class, Shari, that you and I should teach.
Yeah.
Who knew? Thank you, Priscilla, for that. And she's laughing about that. Yes, glass is half full, not half empty. Bogdan, all the way from Romania. Thank you for being here. Love lucid dreaming. I fly and drift I like it too. I like the new picture, Denise. When I meditate, I fly all the time. That's awesome,
That's
you
awesome.
flyers. Um, so much
Okay, but if
gratitude.
you're flying a lot, you might need to look at, are you grounded too? So just as a point of reference.
Love that, Elias. As I say, duh. Thank you, Sherry. Dream class. Oh yeah, Rachel said that you should teach a dream class.
Okay.
Cool. Who knew?
I will
Again,
take a
here's
note.
Sherry's link tree, guys, and thank you, Sherry. You're welcome. So please stay tuned for the guided meditation. Um, if you want to stay, Sherry, you're more than welcome to. I know you're busy.
I have to
Um,
pack.
you have to pack.
I
I
have to
know.
pack. I'm going
So
out of town tomorrow. I have done nothing.
you are always welcome on
Thank
here,
you.
and
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad that everybody always welcomes you here,
I'm
and
honored.
it's good to have you on, my friend.
It is so good to see you. I know
It's
I
good to
pop
see you.
in when you're doing stuff too, and I knew I'm kind of like a drive by. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just breathe. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Well, have me come on one of yours. We'll have a little mishmash. We'll have a little
I
chat.
would, yes, I would love
Yeah.
it. I would absolutely love it.
And Rachel says, thank you. So guys, please check out Sherry's link tree, and you know, I don't have people on, guys, that I don't value, that I don't feel have true integrity. And I want you to know, Sherry, I really feel that you do. And
Okay.
again, even though we're both teachers, guys, we both
We're
teach
different.
differently. It's different. The message is the same. It's just like, you have different professors at school. You may resonate with some, and you may not resonate with others. You may, you know, sometimes
It's
all my
so
food analogies are a little bit too much for people. But
so
you know,
important.
it's
You
good.
get different things from different teachers. I,
You
I
do.
spent a lot of my young life as a dancer, and I would take classes from 3 or 4 different teachers on the regular, because one was very much about the lyricism, and one was about form and placement, and one was about strength and endurance, and the other one was, so you will get different things from different people. It's so important to, and when you find the people that you resonate with, great, but don't pigeonhole yourself in there, like forever. Because there's other, you will learn so many things from hearing the same thing over and over again, but said in a different way. So
And it's important to look at how someone's teaching, take a little bit of that, see how someone else is teaching, take a little bit of that, and then make it your own. Make it your own. And that is amazing. I want to tell guys, I just put out my September calendar. I actually did it myself on the Canva. I know it was a little bit, but I did it.
but you learned.
I did. And I do have a class coming up, a past life 3-part series class. If you do early registration, you get $25 off. And the class starts September 21st. Early registration ends September 6th. So that, and we got the class next Thursday. And I've got, what else do I got? I got going on tomorrow. I've got New Renaissance Bookstore. I'm going to be with them tomorrow. I'm going to be with them on the 6th via Zoom, and I'm going to do a gallery reading with them on the 20th.
That's
So
awesome.
take a look at everything, guys. All right, we're going to start a meditation. Sherry, thank you so much, my friend.
For
Have a
me,
safe trip.
thank you very much. We will see you after Labor Day. Thank you so much for having me. It was so nice
Thanks,
to spend time
guys.
with you.
And when are you doing Psychic Squares? You have your own little thing that you're doing, no? When is that? Do you remember?
I don't know. I
We're
was
all good.
July. I was
Oh,
July.
you were July. Okay.
So
We're,
I
we're all going to be on for the
for
week
the equinox
equinox.
in
Yeah.
September. Yeah. So
Yeah.
look for us on the equinox, and look for me on Medium and on Linktree. And if you're interested in the Becoming an Empowered Empath class, that link is on my Linktree, but it's ShariDworkin-SmithLearn.com to Becoming an Empowered Empath. So I must go pack.
All
Thank
right,
you for
honey.
having me. Mwah.
Thank you.
Much love.
Be well. Be well, honey. Bye-bye. So good to have her on. Really, truly. And oh, snap. That's okay. Janelle, no worries. Yes, Bridget, come join the class. Come join the class. All right, guys, get comfortable. For those of you that want to join the guided meditation, I'm just going to pull up the music. Please make sure that you can hear it because I've got these still on. Let's also make sure that I can hear it. Let's see. There we go. Can you guys hear it? Just let me know. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Priscilla. All right, guys, take a nice breath in. And I want you to make sure that your feet are planted firmly on the ground. And as you close your eyes and continue to breathe, I want you to place your palms up, facing up on your lap, so you're open to receiving. Receive joy. Receive openness and groundness. I want you to be able to receive divine golden light surrounding you, divine golden light in front of you, behind you, to your left and to your right, divine golden light above you and below you, encapsulating you in a beautiful divine golden bubble. And in this meditation, I ask that your highest level spirit guides, your highest level spirit guides guide you, support you, give you strength and courage, clarity, peace, and hope. I ask that your masters and teachers, ascended loved ones, angels and saints be with you, guiding you in awake time and in dream time. I ask that the information be given to you softly, gently, yet quickly. I ask that your intuition grow, that you have the ability to help yourself, and in turn, if you wish, help others. I ask that you have confidence and strength. I ask you to look in the mirror tomorrow when you wake up and see the beauty that is you, the beauty that God, Spirit, Universe created in you, receiving the gift of being you, receiving your joy, receiving laughter, receiving abundance of all kind, prosperity of all kind, receiving good health, receiving connection that is clear. And when you put your head on the pillow tonight, you go into a peaceful slumber, feeling nurtured, cared for, feeling love from all around you. I ask that all these things happen for you because you all give so much. And this is the month to receive. Happy people build their inner world. Unhappy people blame their outer world. You are all happy people, even when those days are bad. Your root, your essence is joy and love. Just be kinder to yourself. Feel better about yourself. Love yourself. And we ask, with the highest good of all, with peace to all and harm to no one, that your angels and saints and all there is guide you, nature guide you, the universe guide you, and all your blessings, awake time and dream time. Take your hands from your palms and place them in the center of your heart, center of your chest, and breathe. Receive those prayers. Receive those intentions for you. Breathe that in. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. I want to thank you guys for being here today. I want to thank Shari again for being here. I also want to thank that all the high-tech tools that I've used today actually work today. So grateful for that. Oh, Janelle, you're welcome, my friend. Thank you so much. Hi, Sarah. So good to see you. You're welcome. You're welcome. That was pretty fantastic, wasn't it? Thanks, Diane. And Diane, always call me. Martin, thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for being you. Michelle, I appreciate all my international friends that stay up so late. Thank you. You're a true divine being. Thank you, Sen. I can't wait, guys. Sen will be on with me next week. So let me quickly just tell you. Where did I put it? See, some things I'm really great at, and some things is not my forte. I have to show you this because this is how weird I am. But I'll have to show you. So I have the funky green, blue tile in the kitchen, right? Look at the dog mats that I found for the kitchen for the dog food and the water bowls. Isn't that cute? So they were like $3 each online. So I'm excited. It's these little things that make me happy. I was like, I shouldn't spend the money. I shouldn't. I'm like, okay, they're $6 total. Done and done. Okay, but that's not what I was looking for. Hey Mo, how are you, my friend? Please call me. I know we've been playing phone tag, so call me. Call me. So I want to remind you guys that meditation's starting this week. There will not be a Friday morning meditation. We're going to do meditations on Wednesdays, right after the guest talk, Saturdays and Sundays at 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern. That's why we'll have meditation. And then we've got Sun Adler, September 8th, Healing with Sound, all about receiving, guys. September 15th, Pasquale will be on, Clarity Through Intuition. Then Elizabeth Wilde will be on, Mediumistic Messages on the 22nd. And on the, I made an error. Darn it. And I didn't see it. Look, it's 22nd twice. And then on the 29th, now I have to change it. See, smart. On the 29th, we have Susan Fuller. So I'll change that. But there you go. So excited to have that. I'm glad I saw that. All right, guys. Always. I'm so blessed to have you here. And always thank you for telling your friends. That means a lot. This is how we get community to grow. Oh, and I forgot to mention, through the end of the month, if you want a one-on-one with me, a one-on-one individual session, or do my empowerment coaching program or my individual intuitive coaching program, they're 30% off. Okay. So just let me know. All right, guys, from my heart to yours, so glad that you're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Be open to receive this month. And we are here to connect. And when we connect, we educate one another. And when we educate one another, we grow. There's unity in community. Once again, from my heart to yours, have a beautiful night, everybody. I'm going to make some dinner and snuggle with the dogs. All right. Take care, everyone. Be well.